Today's quick tip is one for using punches. Actually, there's going to be a couple of tips. So the first thing is we're going to actually use our punch to punch out a label, which we will be using. And then what I'm going to do is use that to be able to choose my sentiment. We're going to use the negative space, and what you can do is pop it over the sentiments to see which one you might want to use. Now, just a word of caution here, because some stamp sets, most of them are shown at 100%, but just a few, the images are at a smaller amount. So images at 95% on this one, and at 95%, for example, on this one. But most of them will show that it's nothing. If there's nothing there, they're at 100%. And I used on a different card, I used a different label, and you can put that over and see how well it is going to stay within your label. So doing that, we're then going to choose our sentiment, and I want to use the birthdays are the best days. Now, this is the one where it's at 95%. So if you need to double check, you can see it's just slightly different. And again, we can go back to our little negative space and put that over the top, and you can still see that that's going to fit fine. So I'm using the stamp from Beautiful Friendship for Beautiful Birthdays Are the Best Days. I'm going to get that onto a block, use our Memento ink and ink the stamp up, get that well inked. And because we're using photopolymer, I want a matte, and I'm actually using the matte out of my stamparatus. So get that over the top and stamp it. And we knew that that was going to fit fine. Now, the other little trick with this is where we've got symmetrical dies. And if you've got a symmetrical die, it's the same shape sort of both ways. It doesn't have to be, as long as it's the same shape at alternate opposite sides, it doesn't have to be on all four sides. We're going to punch that out, and we're just going to snip this in two, and I like to just cut a slight V to make sure that nothing's going to be showing through. And I'm just taking a sliver off either side and using a little bit of, you can use whichever your preferred adhesive is, whether it's seal or multi-purpose glue or tear and tape. And then I'm just going to position that at the edge there and pick it up and turn that one round and position that there, and you've got a nice little frame for your label. So here's a card that I've done, and for this one I used the negative space here to check that I was going to get my get well soon in there, and then I punched a piece from the ombre paper with the same punch, cut that into and used it either side of my sentiment. So I hope that top tip is helpful to you, and thank you for stopping by.